everybody, and welcome to Bugbear's Basement. Really happy to have you guys here today as we continue the Moonshea Isles adventure we have here for D&D. Of course, it's episode 3, not counting those setup things we had, but very excited to have you guys here because we got an interesting story that's going to be laying out as usual. Also, we'd love to remind you of all our links down below. Please go check them out. And of course, hitting that share button as usual. And Dinale keeps telling me, Chester, you forget about the bell thing. So whatever that bell is, you should go punch it. But nevertheless, we're happy to have you guys here and continuing our D&D game. So before I dive in and kind of give you guys our quick little summary for today, I'd like to come over here and say hello to our adventurers that are going to be slaying monsters, or I don't know, being slayed. I don't know. We'll see. Bill, are you back?
Yeah, yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Hey,
I made
Bill.
it.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic today. Doing good, and I'm ready to roll. Let's see how this goes.
That's good. That is very good. And of course, we also have moving down the line here. We got let's say Comic Book Bob is next.
How you guys doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're a little low, but I can hear you.
Okay. I will fix that right now.
Rock on. Of course, we also are joined by Slick Jimmy is in here. How you doing, dude?
I'm all right. Greetings and salutations to the chat. Pardon me while I stuff my face with sustenance. I'm going to go back on mute.
Okay, very good. And of course, we also have Zach with us today. Hello, Zach.
Oh, hello. You went out there for a second.
Did I?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not good. Let me make sure I'm coming through. I don't see any drop frames. Yeah, it looks like it should be fine, but you never know with these things. Let me just, to be safe, let me drop out some of these high-end bandwidth eaters like Discord. And let's see, get rid of this one. All right, that should help a little bit. All right, so yeah, guys, welcome back. This is our weekly D&D game we're playing in the Forgotten Realms, of course. We've made a decision to play over in the Moonshea Isles, which is kind of interesting. I haven't really, I don't remember doing too many adventures in the Moonshea over the years. I mean, I've done some, but focusing something here, I haven't done before. I spent a lot of my stuff, my games I played in the Forgotten Realms over in the Dale Lands. It's kind of interesting to me over the years of Forgotten Realms' existence, which is from the early 80s. Of course, it's Ed Greenwood's baby he created, that everything is about the Sword Coast and about the west coast of Faerun. But I never played over there. I never was over in Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter or Waterdeep or any of that kind of stuff. All my stuff was mainly in the Dalelands around the Moonsea or something like that. Now, Zach, you've played D&D before, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what kind of campaign settings have you played in mainly?
I literally went through the because when 5th edition came out, my wife and I were very interested, and we literally got a group of friends together and went through the starter campaign,
Oh, I see.
like through the book. That's what we did. And then from there, I was like, "Yeah, this is cool." And then I got into the Savage. What is it called?
The Savage Coast?
Or not Savage Coast. The different. It's not D&D. It's Savage Worlds.
Oh,
Oh,
so
okay.
yes, okay.
Then I
Okay.
got into Savage Worlds from there. So I'm coming back to D&D from that. So
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that was with the Open Gaming License, the OGL, that came out, and that was a very smart move on, I think, WotC's part with the 3rd edition coming out. They basically just opened it up, and of course, we saw. I can't even count how many companies popped up there. Of course, most of them didn't survive, but we got so much content using the D20 system. And of course, with the 5th edition here, which we are kind of working our way through it, but here with the 5th edition, they have an OGL as well. So it's really good. It expands it, allows people to make stuff, and of course, with WotC these days being so lazy and not producing anything, it's a game saver, right? Because they're really dragging their feet over there. I mean, incredibly so. And they're not giving us any campaign settings. They're just doing modules and stuff, which is kind of interesting because I've never played a module in my life.
Hmm.
Everything I've ever played, and I've been playing since 1979, is homebrew. I've never played a written adventure. But some people seem to like it. What do you think about that, Bob?
I've actually never, I've almost never played any modules myself either. Most of the stuff was just things that we came up with. The few times that we did play modules, um, either they felt really restrictive, or just didn't flow the way that we played. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting how they're kind of like it's almost like they're embracing the Bethesda methodology of, we're just going to make whatever the game that we have, and then we'll let everybody else just build their own little sandbox around it.
Yeah, well, which is the original Inception? I mean, well, no, to be fair, they did come up with a lot of modules in the beginning, but the idea of D&D is to create your own. It is true. What
Yeah.
about you, Slick?
Well, I haven't played since 1986, and this is the first game I've played since then. I used to own modules, but we also did homebrew and stuff way back in the AD&D days. I know modules were something that were kind of precious because you didn't have to futz around with graph paper and other stuff. You just used them. As a kid, it just made it simpler in a way to
Yeah,
play that way. But today, like the way you're doing it, I think it's good to play within a realm that has existed for a while. And the only books I've ever read about the Forgotten Realms are actually the Dritz novels.
oh, which are good. Salvatore, yeah.
Yeah, and I liked them okay. As a writer, I found them at times a little simplistic, but they're cool. I like Dritz as a character, so there you go. That's where I've come in. So
Yeah, no, I agree with the books and stuff. With the homebrew, it's interesting to say it's easier for a kid, and that's probably true. But for me, it was simply because I had no money. I think in the beginning, really. I mean, my friends introduced it to me because I was one of those kids that always was hanging out with older kids. You know, I don't know if it was just because I was tall or I don't know what it was, but I was always with the older kids, right? So I was like
Hey guys,
9.
what you doing?
Yeah, well, but I was actually running sessions at like 10 or 11, right? And these
Wow.
guys were like 12, 13, right? So it's
Chester was a prodigy.
I guess I don't
Mm.
know, but I'm that kind of kid, some kids are like that, and so they had the stuff, and they were kind of richer kids anyway, but I didn't have anything, and my grandmother bought me the player's handbook, right, and that's like
Wow.
the only thing I had for a long time until because when I was about 12, I started my very first business. I had to buy a lawnmower from my uncle. He didn't even give it to me. I had to buy it, right? I had to take my birthday and birthday money and buy the lawnmower. I had to repair it, so I had to learn how to do that. So I had to go to the library and get a book. But I took that lawnmower around and I charged $20 to mow an entire lawn and bag it. Trust me, that's underpriced for these people. Had 1 acre properties, just so you know. But that's my first job, and I started getting money, and I used it to buy books, dude. But for me, because I didn't have money, it was kind of forced into creating my own. Maybe that's how I don't know. Dave seems to agree. Homebrew, beauty, awesome. But what do you think about it, Bill?
I think it's homebrew all the way. I mean, modules were fun for a quick pickup, but to really get the imagination going, I always either run or played mostly just homebrew ones that we would come up together. And I think at one time we had a group. I was in a group with about 8 people, and 4 or 5 of them could run the campaign, and we did ongoing stories, passed them around in the same continuity. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had two of us that would go back and forth running games actually, which was nice. But what do you guys think about? I'm going to start here in a minute, guys. I'm just kind of warming up and letting a few more people come in. Remember, hit that share button if you haven't already, please. What do you guys think about what WotC's doing right now? I mean, they've had a couple of source books, I guess, but mainly they're just pumping out modules, module after module after module. There's no campaign settings in the fifth edition at all. Although they're doing some kind of partnership with Magic the Gathering, and it looks like they're coming out with the first semi campaign setting with that. But what do you guys think about this approach from WotC right now?
I think it's kind of to do with like the success of stuff like Critical Role. I think they're looking at that going like, why would you even bother with this stuff when people are just going to make their own thing? We can just keep pumping out books, and it's like there's already rumors that they're going to be starting on 6th edition here soon, very soon. So
there is, which is interesting because I don't know about you guys, but I was part of the communal beta testing for 5th edition and stuff that went on for so long. I don't know if you guys got involved. It was anybody could do it, but it doesn't sound like they're doing that for 6th edition. But it's interesting you say that because I would think they would be doing the opposite then. If you look at all these online games that are being done, all these homebrew things that are going on, you would think, well, then they would be concentrating on campaign settings instead of modules.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think it comes down to the fact they're looking at like, what can they make the most money off of without doing the least amount of work.
Yeah. Well, see, they're not getting any money out of me, and I own every 4th edition book they made, and I hate 4th edition, dude. With a passion. I hate it, right? But I love source books. I love source books. I buy them and I read them. I collect them, and I'm not interested in these modules at all. I haven't bought a single one. I got a couple things around here. I bought there's like a magic book and a creature catalog, but I don't know. Anyway, it's an interesting conversation, which we will continue. But let's go ahead and get started here. I think we've warmed up enough. So let me come over and just real quick. I'm not gonna bother screen sharing with you guys. I'm just gonna do the kind of update thing myself here real quick. But as you guys know, hold on a second. I don't want to forget this other one here. I forgot we have. Let's do this one. I'm gonna play.
Oh, is this the music that we're not allowed to hear?
They won't let me do it now. What are you doing? I see. Yeah, I see what they did. So I have to create an account. You bastards. Let's see if I have one. Did I sign up for one? No, I didn't. I'll have to do. Okay, I can log in with Facebook. I'm going to do that. It says I can do that.
This is how they steal your life, Chester.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Yeah, nope. Screw that. I'll set it up next time, guys. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, here, and then here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anyway, so I'll work that out next time and do all this stupid Spotify thing. You guys use Spotify?
Nope.
No. I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to go set that account, which I'll get to. But anyway, let's kick this off.
Real quick, Chester. On the YouTube page, it's just got the Bugbear Basement announcement up.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, it's not showing anything.
It's not showing anything. It's just showing the Bugbear Basement. Join the Nerd Crew Tuesday at 8 p.m.
What are you talking about? I'm looking at it right now, live. It says Moonshea Owls episode 3 on Bugbear's Basement.
Yeah, but the actual video it's not showing the Hangouts. It's just showing the placeholder image.
I see. Well, that is what I have up right now. That's why.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought we lost connection for a second.
No,
it's perfect. Everything's running just fine.
Yeah, that's what I have running right now.
Let's go.
Okay. Thanks for paying attention, though. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So here we go. And now, of course, you guys know we're playing in the Forgotten Realms, and we're playing about This is about, I don't know, what do we say, about 30 years or so after the spell plague has ended. One of the big things that's going on in the Moonshea Isles, of course, is the Eladrin have returned to Serifal, and they are not being very friendly. It's a hostile takeover, really. But that's not where we're playing. We're playing in one of the islands to the west, which is called Moray. And what we have here is the majority of our crew is over in the city of Kork. And they're here, which of course is on the east coast. They're here to build a temple to Corlane, which is the elven god, right? The king of the god of the king of the pantheon. And they have the group they're with has ulterior motives because here in the west of Moray, the werewolves have been rising up because the god Malar has been walking the earth, and where he has walked, he has created werewolves, and the Black Bloods, as they call themselves, have been creating all manner of trouble. Mostly up with Denegal, which you see is in the northern city, and of course, Caer Marais is the main castle that's trying to deal with the problem. But Cork itself hasn't really had any problems of late. But what happened is these black blood werewolves, or at least they and their acolytes, came by ship and attacked Cork, which is one of the major towns here on Moray. Now, this isn't the most heavily densely populated island in the world, but they came into Cork and they stole a bunch of women. And one of the women they stole, of course, was Lacey, which is Baran, Zach's character's love interest. The Thane himself, of course, is very upset, and he has brought up an army to send because they interrogated one of these werewolves that they had caught here. And they had found out where they were being camped, so he raised an army and he's coming down. But he sent these guys out to scout, which they went and did successfully. I'm not really sure how I say, but they didn't die. So last we saw them, let me come back over here to the other side. Last we saw them, they had escaped from the little cove where the werewolves bandits were hanging out, which that cove is right here, so you guys can see it real quick. All right. But they have escaped from that. They have healed up a little bit, and they have traveled on and met up with the army, which of course is much slower than a group of people. Now, you guys see the army ahead of you, and you're heading up toward them. This army isn't huge. I mean, there's probably 200, 250 men, maybe. It's not enormous, but Cork is a small town. It's not very big, and this is probably every able-bodied man capable of fighting is here. And you do see it's a little bit of a mishmash of folks. They're not there's a rider team in the front, of course, which is about 10 men on horseback who are very capable soldiers. Then you have a bunch of riffraff in the back because it's kind of almost a peasant army in a way. But that's where we are. So you guys have some information for the Thane, and go ahead and get to it.
Okay, so they're actually we can actually see them coming up on us.
Oh yeah, they're probably 100 meters away on the road. They're coming down. Yeah. Remember, you're on the coastal road, which is pretty well maintained. Excuse me. Actually, you're right up about. You're just past that little town of what I call it, Hope Cove, or I think that's what I called it. But a little village, a little hamlet that had been destroyed and excuse me, left as a message to Cork. You're just a little north of that right now.
Okay. I'll kind of stand up when I hear them coming and look around. Well, I suppose we should give them what we found. And I look at the Baran. You copied down the locations that they're heading to, correct?
No, I did not.
Well, I mean, you did look at the map.
I looked at the map, but I didn't copy it down. Remember, I was trying to figure out if I had anything to copy it down with.
No, I do. I do
Um,
remember that. But the map really didn't have any real specific information other than areas being circled, right?
mhm.
And it seemed like to you that if I'll just kind of use Bob's here since he's got it here. If you look at this a map of Murray he has on his character sheet, it seems to you that they had left that Fairview was the most circled and indented. So it looks like that's where they probably left from. You think. But other than little circles along the route, I don't think any of you really have a map particularly or know Moray so in depthly. But it looks like they left from Fairview, which is on the west coast, and they were probably hitting little places along the line, but you're not sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
so it stands to reason that Fairview is where they come from.
It does, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, what do you do? We
Which
give them
also-
the, well,
Which
Go
also,
ahead.
we'd assume that that's where they're going to head back to.
right.
So then they're going to go through. They're going to go all the way around the coast. Would they be going all the way around to Orkskill to get there? Or are they able to cut through this the riverway from this cove?
Well, it stands to reason that they're going to take the quickest route back, unless they have intentions to stop elsewhere. So, my idea is this: if we cut across the continent, we might be able to get there before them and prepare an ambush for them. But that takes us through the forest.
It does. And keep in mind, you guys don't know the place as well. Baran would have information that he would know that Fairview is kind of a notorious den of thieves and pirates,
Right.
and
So
it's about the
they
same
may
size as Kork.
Yeah. So this force that we have may very well end up fighting the entire town.
Mhm.
So I think what we should do is give the information that we have to the forces here, let them decide best what they're going to do. But after that, I think we should deal with the ambush that's laying ahead.
That's what I was thinking too.
And perhaps get more information from one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's to this getting to the forces coming so that they don't walk into it.
All right. So you guys approach. Like I said, there's only about 10 horsemen here. Most everyone's on foot. It is a peasant army, really. And you guys approach up, and of course, the thing you're welcomed by the head of the guard, and of course, the Thane himself. So he says, "Well, report."
Oh, the Thane's with them?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. I didn't think he was going to be there. I turn and I look at Baran. Well,
And I look to the Thane and I say, "Well, they're preparing an ambush ahead, so we need to basically double ambush them and try and take one or a few alive because they're leaving as we speak. When we scouted them, they were packing up their large vessel and they were leaving, and they'll probably be gone by the time we get there. So our best bet is to capture one of the people who are going to ambush and interrogate them to figure out where they're going."
sorry.
Lord Thane, I did see your women and your daughter in a cage below deck on their ship. I would advise haste.
So they're alive. There's that. We also I look at Jimmy, I'm like, God damn it, man. We got to look at the map, a map that they were using, and apparently they are basing themselves out of Fairview.
We had
So
expected.
that is
We had
yes, so
expected this. And the Thane points over across the to the coastline of the ocean where you guys are, and what you see is six masts heading down the coastline. He says, "We are well
Oh,
prepared."
whoa!
Oh, excellent. Then all we need to do is take care of this small ambush that they had planned.
The
And
other the other information of note, Thane, is that they're not all turned as wolves. We've seen that there are also men who are in thrall or following them or whatever. But we just, as we know, we're not facing an entire force completely of werewolves.
That is good to know. And what about entrances and egresses to the area?
we let them know about the approach. The one approach. Well, I'll just say it. The first approach is obviously, like we said, they've got an ambush set up. There is an approach from the. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Chester. The coastline, the cliffs.
It's further south along the cliffs.
Yeah, yeah. There's another approach further south along the cliffs. If we hurry, we may be able to catch some of the stragglers before they sail, but I doubt very seriously we'll be able to stop the ship. Your ocean vessel will have to probably stop it.
Uh-oh. Someone had a disaster.
It's all good. Continue. We're just done with the live drawing. my rigging fell down. I'm not going to mess with it. So.
Okay.
Try to build a moment here. But yes, so those are the two that we're aware of. Unfortunately, they are much better prepared than we expected, and they are aware that we tried to infiltrate. So they are making haste as we speak.
Lord Dane, I must apologize for the folly of my attempts to free your daughter and your women. I made a great miscalculation.
That's a way of putting it.
It was a team effort. Anyway, let's we should be off to deal with this. Yes, please.
All right. Now, I've got to get to that in a second. Hold on a second here. Trying to set something up. Now, as you guys are going about this and having your conversations, you see because you're on a hill, actually. It's kind of cresting down toward the Orcs Gills. And so you have a kind of a many mile view of the southern coast here, southeastern coast of the Moray Island. And way down. You hear a whole bunch of the militiamen start murmuring and pointing and stuff. And way down, you see this going on. Now, I have a much closer up view here, but you see this. Hold on a second. All right, you see this. It actually changed size on me. That's interesting. Let me fix it.
They said they fixed it. It's not my fault.
All right, there you go. Way down the coast, you guys see this just ridiculously huge creature coming up. And of course, all of you who aren't from Moray, you have no clue what this monstrosity is that's come up out of the ocean. But Baran, the Thane, and everybody else, you know exactly what that is. That is the Leviathan.
Well, shit.
Yes, that is another god walking Earth, by the way.
Oh boy.
Now, it's far from you. It doesn't seem to be involved with you. It's actually moving itself onto land, as you see. And it's just kind of, now this is way past the point of where you guys are heading. It's just something that is happening far off in the distance.
So I don't think we should go that way.
Well, it is way past your point that you guys are heading, but just know that that's happening. And it's not the first time the Leviathan has been seen walking. Matter of fact, he's kind of every century or two, there's stories that come around of the Leviathan walking along, but it is certainly something no one here has ever seen. And of course, this has put the fear of death into the militia. Everyone's murmuring and chattering. The head of the guard turns around and tells them all to stand to and stop the chatter. The Thane does not look pleased at all, and he says, very well. Signal the ships, and you see a man with a couple of flags, and he's wailing them around frantically and doing some kind of code of some kind. And he says, "We shall press forward." He says, "Do make sure you keep yourself safe in this." And he doubles as you guys start moving forward. He doubles the movement of the men as they start moving at a high pace toward their destination. Now, what's going to happen here as you're walking along? The Thane or the guard, the head of the guard tells you that they're going to go down both entrances. They're going to split their army in two and go down each, and the 6 ships are going to try to keep them in port if they can. Hopefully, they'll get there in time. But what do you guys want to do with this conflict that's about to come up?
I say we go down the path where the ambush is.
I say that I want to talk to my compatriots for a second, because there's all seems too coincidental of events happening, and the Thane for some reason doesn't seem to be so phased by it. Like he set things in motion. Like there's a reason why his daughter got captured, and there's things happening, and whether or not we should maybe take a step back and try to be more careful about who we decide to ally with. Like, even though like my heart is, all for Lacey, I have to ask myself, based on these events happening, like, who started this fight? Why is the Leviathan coming up? Why is all these things? So, I just want to just put that out there. I just want to put it out there before we do anything.
Who can understand the machinations of gods?
True.
Well, maybe someone like the Thane pissed off one of them.
Well, it's possible. But there's not really much we can do about it. That's a walking god there. So unless Coraline decides to come down here and slay the thing, I don't really know what more we can do about it other than try to avoid it at all cost.
Well, actually, being a follower of Coraline from the Moonshea themselves, you do recall a story of Coraline fighting the Leviathan and failing.
Yeah, he was just having a bad day.
Okay.
Everyone has their off moments. That was his.
All right, there you go.
But as I said, there's at the moment we have an obvious situation to deal with. There'll be time for speculation later. I think we need to take care of these beasts, and then focus on rescuing these poor women that have been taken before something absolutely horrible happens to them. So I think we should continue along with the Thane's men here and help them dispatch these monsters, and then plan our next move after that.
All right. So the army is getting closer. They are moving at a quick pace, and they're starting to split off to one is going to head down the ambush, which, remember, that's a very tight little crag, so it's going to be a tough battle in there. The other trail is far more open and easier, but they're splitting their forces in half equally. You see the ships were already near anyway when he pointed to them, so you can't see them now because they're kind of covered by the cliffs, so you don't know exactly what the ships are doing. But you guys need to make a decision. Are you going to join them? If you are, which point of egress are you going to take, etc.?
Well, I've already said what I intend to do, what I want to do.
The
what
ambush
about you?
path.
I want to take the ambush path. I think we know the enemy that's there. What do you think?
Bill? Nothing from Bill. How about you, Slick?
I will follow where thou leads.
All right. Is Bill, is your mic not working or something, dude? All righty. There you go.
Okay. Boran.
Oh, I follow you.
He's trying to speak.
Okay then.
Hold on a second. Let me
Yeah.
give me a minute. Bill, what's going on with the mic, dude? Try again. Okay. Off and on. I heard you crackling in. Maybe just check your connections, make sure it's plugged in well.
Yeah.
Try to maybe drop in and come back in or something like that, Bill. All right. So you guys are heading down the ambush point, and now are you? I'm assuming you're not trying to get up and lead the army in front of them. I'm assuming you are in the back of the army, right?
Oh yeah. Put the fodder in front.
Well, sure. Yeah. All right. Now, as you guys are coming along and heading down, let me bring this up here real quick. And as you guys are heading along, you know that had seen these werewolves that were at the ambush point before, but as you come to the ambush point, there's nothing. All right. And as the army moves down this very tight and narrow area, you guys are moving along, and you get down into, you're just able to see, and what you see going on here in the little sheltered cove that you guys were in before, you see the army pouring in on the other side. Of course, you do realize there's water in between, and they are pouring down the other side. You guys are pouring into here. And what you see, though, is quite interesting. There is a portal open because you know they have a powerful wizard with them. There's a portal open, and the last stragglers of werewolves are heading through the portal as the army tries to bear down on them. And you see the ships out in front are just coming into view, and the ship itself is ablaze.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So they lit the ship on fire and they're just they're egressing.
Yeah, they're running away. Yeah.
Okay. Can we see the caster who's holding the who's conjured this portal?
No, you can't actually.
Okay, so he's probably already on the other side then.
Possibly.
Crap. Um. I'm just gonna yell out, "Stop them before they get away!"
All right. And of course, the army is bearing down. The army on the other half of the army on the other side, where the Thane is actually, they are, of course, separated by water. And they're working on trying to figure out how to get over the other side. And it seems like they're starting to go back up the cliff because this was not where they needed to be. The about 80 to 100 men that are here with you, they're coming in and they're charging down this path into the area. But as they get down in there, the big portal that is open closes, and the only thing as you guys follow along with them, the only thing that's going on here is a burning ship and the screams from within it.
oh, shoot.
Oh crap! All right, I'm changing course and I'm running straight for the ship.
Same here.
All right. And of course, several of the men are working on some broken down tents, and they didn't get everything out of here, but the men are securing the area, and there's of course other men that are with you getting on the ship. They're trying to find buckets. They're trying to find ways to try to put it out because obviously there's people in there. You guys get onto this burning ship. And the cargo hold is still open to a point, and you guys head down into the bowels of the boat. And you see there's a cage, which, of course, Slick's character. What's your character's name again, Slick?
Laz.
Laz. That's right. And Bill, have you got your mic working? Not yet. Okay. So where Laz had seen the cage before, you see that there is only one person in there. There's a couple others that have been tied up along the boat, like the pillars of the boat, but they're not women though. their men, and some of them are dead, a couple of them are screaming, and the only person in the cage, of course, is Lacey herself.
Oh boy.
Okay, is this area on fire, or is it
Oh,
just
yes.
is it
Most certainly.
okay? I want to cast a spell.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to cast a spell, Chester.
Uh-huh.
I want to cast create water,
Ah, very nice.
and I'm going to drop it over the area where all the prisoners are. And the way the spell describes itself is I conjure. Let me see how much exactly it is. Give me 1 second.
Well, do keep in mind that there's only one person in the cell. That's Lacey. The rest of the there's only like 3 of them that are still alive, but they're tied to posts. Yeah, they're not in the cell with her, so it's not like there's one area to drop water on. You're going to have to make a decision.
Okay.
Save a man.
The water will fall in a 30-foot cubic
Yeah.
area.
Oh no, it'll do
And
the
it'll
job,
ex-
dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop it wherever she's at, where the fire's at, so we can get her out.
Now that area of effect is big enough to actually catch another one of the guys tied to posts, by the way.
Okay.
So, but that's very nice. Because she was in danger of burning. So I'm assuming Baran, who has been in motion, is at her by now.
I'm looking. I'm at the because it's gate, like a cage, right?
Yes.
So I imagine metal. It has a lock, probably.
It does. And you have
Uh,
skills.
Yep, I do have skills. Let's bust out this stuff. My thieves' tools.
Yeah, I had to burn one of my cure wounds to do that. I had to swap it out. So
That's okay.
All
You're a
right,
cleric.
so
You can do that.
Okay, I'm totally lost. So just point me in the right direction and show me who to punch. We're good to go.
Well, I think what you're doing is trying to untie and save the last 2 men, 3 people that are alive down here, other than Lacey. I would assume you'd be on that because Baran is on it. The cleric has reduced the fire to a point, at least where Lacey is. So I would assume you and the other men are all just trying to untie and get these guys, whoever these guys are, get them out of here.
Absolutely.
How wounded do these men look, Chester?
Well, the one that was nearest to Lacey is not so bad. The one that was closest to you when he came down the stairwell, actually, he's taken quite a bit of smoke and he looks ill. The other guy has some burning on him, but with the help of Bill's character and the other guys, they've got him out and they're starting to get him on deck. This is all happening at the same time, of course, very quickly, but those guys will be up on deck pretty quick. The only real delay is Lacey. So, Baran, have at it, dude.
Well, I rolled a 3, so I used my fate point to roll an 18.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah, that's
No
the way you
problem.
do it.
Very good. That's how you do that. You unlock it, you get it out. She leaps out and says, Baran, and she hugs you.
We need to go. And I pick her up. I literally just pick her up and
Yep.
start booking it towards my compatriots and like, we need to get out of here. Grab the other one. Someone grab the other one.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
they have.
That guy.
They have.
And then we just book it out of there.
All right.
Okay. This ship, does it have like a captain's quarters?
Probably. Yeah.
After we get everybody up on deck, I'm going to try to see if I can make my way there,
Sure.
if it's even possible at this point.
You're risking a roll, but you could make it. You could try. What everybody else is doing is getting the men, and of course, Baran with Lacey are getting them off the ship, getting onto dry land, and the Thane still hasn't arrived because he has to go all the way back up and around, so it'll be a little bit. But you do have the commander here, and
I have resistance to fire.
For you or to be cast?
I have hellish resistance.
Oh, that's you.
Versus
Yeah,
fire.
I see. So he's
Yeah,
fine.
that's her.
But what is your plan here, Bob?
I want to see if it's even possible to get in there, and then look around to see if there's anything that can give us an indication of what we're going to be facing. Basically, I'm doing a quick reconnaissance.
Sure. Well, it's very hot. Is
I'll go with
Laz
you.
sticking with him, Slick?
Yeah.
Okay. So you two are heading toward the captain's quarters. Give me a Constitution roll, please, Bob.
Okay. 14.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're able to kind of cover your mouth with the cuff of your clothing, whatever it is you're wearing, and you head into the captain's quarters, and it is completely ablaze and completely empty.
All right. Then I will turn around. I'll motion to Laz, like, let's get out of here, and then we'll just beat feet out as fast as possible.
All right, which is no problem. It's going to take quite a while for this boat to burn to the waterline, of course. To be fair, though, the men are just kind of automatically trying to put the fire out. So there's a bucket line going on. You guys head down the plank. Bob's coughing a little bit, but he's fine. And you come down, and Baran and Lacey are embraced. I thought terrible things could happen to me. She's like that.
Is she that type?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
losing
Well,
interest
she's
here,
a
man.
Thane's daughter.
Oh, she's that type. She's useless.
Useless. Damn princesses.
What has happened? Does she know what has happened to all the other women?
She says they took them very roughly, and they left me, and they laughed, and they said, your father is coming to save you, but he won't save your village.
Oh crap!
Son of a...
It was a distraction. Great.
So that was what the Leviathan was.
Not necessarily, but
No, I thought the
you,
Leviathan was going the opposite direction.
it's not going anywhere near it. Yeah, it's just it's just kind of setting the tone for what's going on is what I put the Leviathan there for. Now, and of course, you have to question why, if they have the ability to create a wizard high enough level to create a portal that can move an entire army through, right? This isn't a simple little short distance teleporting spell. That's a friggin' portal, right? That's high magic. And so that it can create a portal big enough for an army to move through. What the hell they need a boat for?
It's all this just a distraction to get Kork.
Yep.
Yeah. That was, and we fell right into it.
Mm-hmm.
The Thane
All right,
is starting to come down the canyon path, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna run straight up to him. I stop hovering. It's Kork. They're going for Kork.
He says, "What?"
It's a distraction. All of it. They had a mage. They could have transported themselves if they wanted to. They wanted our army out. They're going to Kork.
Men, he calls out, and he calls to his commander. The commander of the guard comes up, and he rides up quickly. He says, "We must get back to Kork as quickly as possible." There's a lot of chaos for a short amount of time. These aren't professional soldiers, of course, but the commander gets them in line, and they start heading up at quick pace up this canyon path here. And you guys are trying to move back to Kork as quickly as possible. The Thane is being very stern of face, as Nord would be, but everyone is murmuring and worried, and the commander, from time to time, needs to remind them to stay disciplined, and shuts them up. But you guys are moving as quickly as you can back to Kork. Of course, Baran has gathered he has Lacey with him on his horse as you guys are heading back.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have an option. The army has to move at a certain speed. You guys are on horseback. You don't have to. Do keep in mind, these horses are not rested, but you guys have options. What do you want to do?
I say we press as hard as we can. I have a question, Chester.
Mm-hmm.
With was it let me see here. Could I use Can I use? No, that's not gonna stop them from being fatigued. I was thinking about using cure wounds or spare the dying to give these horses a little more run time.
No, that wouldn't help them.
Yeah, that wouldn't help him. But all right, I say we just ride as hard as we can back to that to the waypoint where the horseman was.
The where you changed your horses last time, that is Fair Cove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
right.
We dropped Lacey off there too, just to stay somewhere
Yeah.
safe. That she can get picked up by her dad there.
All right. Now, as you're doing this, actually, the Thane and three of the other horsemen, the knights, type of the guard, are actually right with you, moving at the same
Oh, cool.
pace. The captain of the guard and the rest of the actual soldier men are leading the militia back as quickly as they can. But you and the Thane and two of his men are heading back as quickly as you can. You do come upon Fair Cove, and the Thane gets off his horse, and of course the man shows a lot more respect to the Thane than he did to you. But of course, the Thane's also not talking about werewolves, Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah, right. But very quickly the horses get turned around in half the time they did last time, and you guys are all on horseback heading back.
And then while the horses are going, why Kork? Is it because of the temple we're building? Is that a
you have
fence?
no clue, dude.
We have no clue. It's possible that just they see it as a point of entry that can oppose them. Possibly, I don't know.
Well, it takes you guys. This journey is actually done very quickly. You guys do it in about 11 hours, which is pretty good. The army is many, many, many hours behind you. But as you guys approach, it's actually the dawn is just starting to break again. And let me get off of this and come back over to here real quick. Change my picture. But you guys are coming in from of course, with Kork, you're coming in from the northern pass and coming in toward up over the hills, where you can see down on Kork. Actually, it's completely ablaze. There's smoke coming out everywhere. You're too far to hear anything, but the whole town is on fire.
We're too late.
It has been raised.
Oh,
Okay. And we're coming down. You said off the hillside.
You are, and of course, you didn't stop your pace. I'm just telling you what you see from a distance. And as you guys are riding up toward the wooden walls are on fire. There's smoke just billowing out of this place. There's so much fire that the smoke is made almost like a solid column the size of Kork itself.
Okay. Is the main gate open?
There is no main gate.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Well, no, there was. There just isn't now.
Yeah. I try to take control of myself for a second, and I pull up and I look at the thing and I say, "What do we do?"
Well, he kind of just looks at you and pushes his horse even stronger to head into the gate. He doesn't say anything. And of course, his men follow quickly. Are you guys following into the burning city, or are you going to stay out?
I'm going to drop off Lacey.
Well, you already did.
Somewhere safe.
We already did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, you left her at Fair Cove. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, we follow. I follow.
All right.
This is my home. This is my home, so I'm going to follow him.
Now the work where we were working on the monastery or the temple, that was inside or is that outside of town?
Well, you were just collecting resources right now. You hadn't really started anything. You probably laid out some space and stuff, but the little work area the outside that you guys have been gathering resources, it's still there. It's untouched.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's on the way into town.
It is. It is. You pass it as you're heading along. Yeah.
And I'll follow the thing.
All right. Now, you and I'm assuming Bill is as well, of course, and Laz as well.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I don't fear the fire.
No, you don't particularly. That's true. But you guys head into town, and everything is on fire. It does seem that the town has been set ablaze fairly recently, within the past hour probably. So this isn't something it's not a charred ruin. It's actually being set ablaze very recently. And as you guys come in, the first thing, the Thane doesn't even pay attention to it. The Thane just starts heading deeper in the city with his men. As you guys come in the main entrance, though, you are set aback by a shocking scene. You see a pile of very specifically dead men. They're not burned yet. All of them have been cut and torn to pieces, not with weapons, with claw, and they have been tied and bolted together. And they're all a writhing mass of regenerative material that cannot regenerate because silver has been used quite uh, uh, egregiously here. So it's the same thing you would see in that little hamlet, but it's a much bigger pile. And sitting on top of that pile, literally crucified and naked and missing major chunks of his body, but writhing in pain, of course, is cleric Theodric.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna
bastards.
drop. I'm gonna drop off the horse immediately, and I'm gonna start running up to him.
All right. The fire is on the buildings around you. It's not here directly, so there is no threat of that. But yeah, you basically have a bunch of townsmen that have been turned, but yet kept from allowing to be, just like you saw in the Hamlet from before. And of course, Theodric himself is just howling in pain. His face transitions between human and bestial, and he's completely out of his mind. There seems to be no sentience there.
I don't say anything. I stop for a second.
Jeez,
I say it.
Chester, you're one sadistic man.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, our whole
Yeah.
entire
Um,
group. I'm shocked. My character's in shock.
Andrew and
I mean, we got. All right, go ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry. Andrew stops. He says a silent prayer, and he just pulls his mace and he starts going to work.
Now you have a
Jalaja
silvered
follows him.
mace, so that will do just fine.
Yeah.
Because
Jalaja follows him with her dagger and assists in the grim work.
how about you, Bill?
Yeah, as I see them, I'll start to regain my senses and start going it with killing my family. Yeah, this is horrible.
Well, of course, the people you came over with are there, as well as townsfolk are in there. But you guys are busy with that, merciful work. Now, Baran, of course, you see them immediately going toward their people. And you've met these people before, but you have a decision to make. You're still upon your horseback. Do you wish to join them in and mercifully ending their friends, or do you want to follow the Thane?
Well, my biggest concern right now is where's my family.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm gonna head towards my little home.
Tell me about your
to
family,
see.
Baran.
I have a mom and a dad and a secret sister I don't know about.
Oh, all right.
And so
Thank you for telling me
so
that.
yeah.
right.
So I'm heading to my little cove of a house. That,
Chester's right there. Goes, I'm gonna use that against him later.
Yes.
Please do. So I'm going to. It's just a little kind of like you open it, think of a studio apartment where it's just a little hovel enough for like a little family just to live, and nothing spectacular. And I'm going to see if my mom and dad are okay.
Okay.
or
Now,
if
how
they're
old
dead.
are you, by the way?
See, my character is, I think we made him 19.
19. So your mother would be about 35 then. All right. So your parents would be, well, your dad's probably a bit older, just going from
Well, I'm
traditional
18.
history.
I'm 18.
Well, then she's in her early 30s, because in these times, a woman of 14 would certainly be married and started having children. Anyway, you come up to your little home. and the flames are just starting to lick onto it. But it is the thatched roof is definitely aflame. The first thing that comes as you jump off your horse and head toward your home is you see the body of your father laying outside. His head is nearby.
Oof.
I just start, you got tears, major emotions, and I'm just like kind of like shrilling out, "Mom!" And I go for the hovel.
You head in. Well, it's not a hovel. This is a town. But you head into the home, and you see it's ramshackled. You know that your parents didn't, they didn't have lots of money, but they're like everybody else here. They had a little stash, and the little chest that it would have been kept in has been thrown strewn, and the little chest which was within the chest that had any of your family valuables is gone. And the only sight you can see of your mother is her little scarf that she always liked to wear around her neck is lying on the floor, bloodied.
That's the only thing. There's no body. There's
Nothing.
no puddle of blood or anything
Yep.
like that.
Matter of fact, as you've been riding along, you have noticed many a man's body on the road, but not a single female.
So they have her. Okay. So they have my mom. So I go out and I get my father's head and I go put it close to the body and I just drape something over it, just out of respect.
Sure.
And I kind of in that emotional, I can't believe this is happening sort of way, I start wandering towards where my compatriots are.
All right. Now, as you solemnly return, you guys are dispatching, and as you're doing so, most of them are completely out of their mind. But as you start kind of, uh, digging through the pile, as it were, you get to the point where you see you see Gregory, who is one of the templemen, a monk, really, not a
Yes.
monk, but a monk.
It's
And
Daedric's right hand. Yeah.
Yes, and Gregory says, as you're coming down, Gregory can actually speak. The rest of them are kind of out of their mind. But as you unpile Gregory, you see that he's missing his left foot, and it's been gnawed off. So, and he has been silvered, like the rest of them, and they're using silver nails, not spikes. Um, and um, uh, and so he's not regenerating, but he has his mind because most of his body is still intact, where the rest of the guys have been just destroyed. And he looks at you guys, and of course, I guess the leader here would be Bob. I suppose he'd be the highest ranking one. He's the actual cleric. So your character, Odoril. How do you pronounce it?
Otterville.
Odoril.
Adderall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Otteril, he says, Otteril, thank goodness you've come. They've taken the women. They've taken all the women.
Yeah.
Keep him
I
alive,
just kind of,
Adderall.
I'm just like, shh. I hear. I hear you. I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure out what to do with him. I asked him, do you feel the change?
Yes, yeah, I can feel it upon me. It's constantly digging at my stomach, but the horror of it. I, I've been here for hours. They waited. They said a scout reported you were approaching, and they started setting the fire, and they went through their portal. They took all the women, Adderall. They took all the women.
I know. I try to pick him up and kind of pull him away from the gore.
Mhm.
And find a place where I could set him down. I'll pull a water flask out of my pack and give him some water. He said,
Yep.
here, drink. And
He
Would
does.
it
It
be too
seems
much?
to burn as he drinks it, by the way.
the
Be
water
too
seems
much
to burn.
Dude, you're a cleric.
Oh, that's right.
Holy water. Ouch.
I pull it
Would it
away.
be-
Oh, shit. And I
Would it be
look
too
at one of
much
the
to
guards.
start praying for a cure at all? Would that be helpful at this point?
No, he's cursed with lycanthropy. And now the other ones, if you pull the silver out, they eventually regenerate, but they're so wild right now, you wouldn't be able to control them. Eventually, they'd come to their senses, but they'd be werewolves. They did. This is all intentional. It's quite
Yeah.
obvious to all of you. Every little thing has been diabolically left for you to hear and see. They're leading you a lot around by the nose, right?
Yeah. I yell. I told one of the guards, one of the Thane's men. I said, "Bring me some water, please." And I just kind of like put my hand behind his, and I just asked him, "So what do I do?"
Okay, well,
I
there
don't
are
know what
no
to do.
Thainsmen here, but Laz
Oh,
does it
okay.
for you, I'm
I'll,
assuming,
I mean, yeah,
or
I'm there.
Bill,
I'll help
somebody
them.
does.
Yeah.
And of course, Adderell is beside himself, as he should be. But he just keeps blathering on about they took the women and he's coherent mostly, but occasionally he drops into eye twitching and low growls and stuff like that. But any information he has seems to have been given. So
Okay. I'll when the Laz comes over, I'll I'll kind of like reach out and I'll touch the silver blade that she has, and I'll look at her as like giving her a look at like for permission to take it.
I will give it to you.
Okay. And I just kind of pick him up. I press my forehead to his, and I say a prayer to Corlane. Goodbye, brother. And I jam it through his skull.
all right, which the prayer causes him to scream, by the way.
I understand.
Dang it.
And he drops into silence and calmness. You guys go about finishing the pile, and the Thane comes back, and he just looks completely and utterly dejected. And he heads he gets off his horse and he starts walking into the citadel, which is ablaze as well. His men try to follow and he just waves them off without a word. So they're these his men, which you guys have met them. Boron, you know them. Matter of fact, one of them might even be family. For all you know, there's this town doesn't have so many families that live in it, right? You certainly know who they are, and they tell you that not a soul alive, not even one.
Now, I'm worried that Thane's going to go and take the off ramp out of life right now. So I'm start following him.
Yeah, is the citadel, is it like completely ablaze or?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Bill, you say that, but you are half folk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Let's see here. Baran, you hear Bill. What's your character's name again?
Phelan.
Phelan. Baran, you hear Phelan say that, but you are folk yourself, but you've lived alongside the Nord for quite your whole life. You know there's no way a Nord is going to do that.
Okay.
Because Bill sounds like he's about to follow the Thane and think he's going to commit suicide, but you know right well a Nord would never do that.
Okay. Then I tell Bill, don't worry about him. He's just in great despair. He'll be okay. He won't
Now,
off himself.
what do you guys want to do in the intervening because you're in the night right now? No, that's right. We're in the day. Sorry. So it's bright. There's only a couple of guys here, and by the time the army gets here, it'll be burned to the ground. Right? There'll be nothing but smoldering cinder. So what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to like everybody that I can. I'm just gonna like say prayers over it,
Sure.
and try to cover them up with something.
Well,
I collect my dagger and the silver spikes, and
yeah, I'll wipe it off. I'll wipe it off, and I hand it back to her. And
we should get the silver spikes. We're going to need them.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Thank
Now,
you.
Yeah.
As you see, the Thane's men are just basically starting to drag bodies to this center area where you guys are, and unless you stop them, one of the Thane's men, there's only two of them here, right? He's going to start a fire of these bodies. He's going to start burning them. The other one is starting to drag bodies over. It's a very slow process. Are you guys going to help by collecting the bodies? And you know what you do notice is everybody that you've seen, and the Thane's men say as well, there's none of them have been turned. It was just that pile you came across. Everyone else has just been killed by mundane means.
Like I said, as they're dragging the bodies out, I'll help them a little bit, but I'm mostly performing cleric duties on them.
Very well. Now, Baran, I do need a little help from you here. Whatever you're doing and helping, I'm sure you are helping. But Baran, I need you to make a scouting roll for me, please.
How dare you? Scouting roll.
Well, okay. Well, because I'm while he's doing that, I'm also contemplating what are an inventory of events, and if they've been
18.
spying on us the whole time,
Mhm.
they could still be spying on us now.
Well, for all you know, right?
Yeah.
Baran, you one thing you've noticed as you were heading, because you've been in a daze, but you're starting to get you're in that kind of calm, numb period, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been noticing all along that of all the combination of foot tracks and large wolf tracks and stuff, which obviously are werewolf size. Uh, and you've kind of estimated in your head, you think there might well have been 1,000 of them in here.
Whoa. So,
You rolled an
I
18,
approach.
so
Yeah, I approach. Let's see. Is it Adorin? Adderil?
Adderall.
Adderall.
I approach Adderil and I let him know, like, hey, I've been looking at all these tracks, and there was way more than just 40 that we've seen from earlier. There's with these tracks, it looks like there could be
Hundreds.
thousands.
Not thousands, no, not thousands.
Thousands?
Up to
You said
1,000.
thousands.
Yeah.
Up to 1,000 of them attacking this. So they have a very large force somewhere that we're unaware of.
It's possible they may have turned all of Fairview.
Possibly.
When the Thanes
But-
collected himself, make sure you tell him this.
Will do. I'm gonna go bury my father.
All right.
Do you
so
need help?
You
Do you need
guys
help?
are.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind doing some prayer for him, that'd be great.
Of course.
Okay. So you guys are going about doing that. You're burying, you're pulling to the pyre fire, everyone's doing something. As you're doing this, you do notice a very large explosion that literally takes the top off the citadel. This is, you have no clue what could have caused such an explosion of that level, but there's literal debris falling down across the eastern side of Kork right now. It's no harm to you guys. You don't have to make any rolls or anything like that, but somehow or another, the citadel has literally imploded.
This thing gets better all the time. Start heading out towards the citadel. Let's find the Thane.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you see the Thane, and he seems fine. He's actually coming across the bridge, and you see him holding an orb that has like a purplish magic in it with silvered and gold talons and lacing around this orb, and he covers it. His men run up to him immediately. He speaks to one of the men, and he covers it in his like bag, and he hands it to the man. The man bows and nods his head. He jumps on his horse, and he takes out of town immediately as the thing comes over and approaches, joins you guys.
What was that? I'd say do the same as he's approaching.
He says, "It is capital business." And the Thane says nothing else, and he just starts digging into dragging bodies like everybody else.
Okay. Now, we were taking care of Baran's father. Did we see this happen?
You probably didn't see the whole thing with the Thane, although the other guys did. But
Okay.
because you're well, it depends. What are you doing with it? You got to help him bury his father, so you're probably on in the
Yeah.
backyard, right?
Yeah.
Um, and because the house is ablaze, but there's nothing for it to jump onto. You guys can dig in the backyard. The whole place is on fire. It's quite hot and smoky, but that is what it is, isn't it? It's an open space town, so it's not like you guys can't walk around the streets without being, you're not inside a building, right? But you did see the damn top of the citadel blow off. You saw that for damn sure.
Jeez. Um, I look at Baran. We need to be quick about this and start, you know, trying not to be disrespectful, but to hurry along the process of burying his father.
Yeah, just that's fine. Just say a quick prayer and we'll go.
Okay.
Now, by the time the mid afternoon is coming along, you guys are making very slow progress. And most of the fires have gone to just simple smoldering. There's nothing but black skeletons of buildings around you. Everything is filthy. There's actually been a slight afternoon drizzle, which has only made things worse. But you guys, as you're doing, you see the militia army has returned. And they're their faces are on the floor. I mean, they don't know what to do. The captain of the guard is barking out orders for them to move. About half of them do. The other ones are just kind of staring in disbelief and shock. But very quickly, the captain of the guard is able to maintain some form of discipline. And within a very short period of time, everyone is moving, and the collection of bodies and stuff is over the next couple of hours becomes more rapid.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
go.
Are they gonna put everybody in like a line so they can just do like a massive bonfire?
There's already bonfire going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, of course, going into the evening, everyone, the captain of guard tells everyone to stop. Some of the men are still don't listen, and they just are dragging family bodies, fathers and brothers and uncles and things like that, and everyone's kind of dealing with their own little thing. But the captain of guard calls out for a mess to be put together. And they're starting to have some manner of food being put together, but they're going to stop for the night. Of course, you have this bonfire, and the captain, the Thane, makes a decision that we will camp outside of the gates.
Okay.
I like take
Um.
this time to go up to our camp for the missionaries and start closing up our camp.
There is nothing to
Going.
close up, dude. It's completely burned to the ground. It's just like everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said that wasn't. But my bad. All
No,
right.
no. Well, the area where you guys are collecting resources, but that's just rocks and wood and stuff. There's nothing over there
Okay.
particularly. There might be an axe or something, but I mean, there's not.
I forgot
Yeah.
the axe. Oh.
Um. When they start setting up the mess, I'm going to go and I'll use I'll blow my second and last cure wounds to conjure water again. This time I'm going to conjure clean drinking water for them.
hmm And how are you going to capture
And
this?
well, I'm going to have them collect up basins and buckets for it.
Yeah, there's enough of that around to do so. So you're
Okay.
helping provide water. There's of course this is a moving army, so they can set up camps. They have rations upon them, et cetera, et cetera. And it's as food is starting to be passed around, and the Thane is just sitting grimly. The only one who's really organizing anything is the captain of the guard, Geoff, of course. And but he's kept uh, he's kept his you don't see any kind of shock or mourn in him. He's kept his discipline. But it is a very dour evening. And everyone tries to get some sleep through the night, and the morning rises. And with the morning rising, the first thing that, because the camp stirs and everyone's starting to get some kind of food made, and there's a bit of a little bit of weeping and stuff. But these are all men, so it's not as uh, dramatic as it might be. But they're all kind of talking about what they're due. There's lots and lots of noise of revenge, lots of it. And one thing you do see is that man, one of the Thane's men that he had sent with that orb thing, which I'm assuming Bill's character had told you about. He comes back and he speaks to the Thane. And immediately the Thane is in high action. He says, "Everyone, break the camp."
I'm gonna go to the Thane. What's the plan?
He says, "The plan is we're heading up to Bray."
What's in Bray?
Battle.
Battle. Great.
Bray. No, refresh my memory, Chester. Bray's where the Nords are, right?
Yes, they're not. They're the ones who've kind of resisted the happy love fest with the folk. They're not at war per se, but they're standoffish.
Right.
It's a very successful town, about the same size as Kork.
All right. I'm going to leave the Thane for a moment. I'm going to motion to everybody to come together. What do you think we should do?
Well, let me talk to the Thane to let him know what I observed as far
Right.
as what kind of forces they'll be facing.
Yeah, do that.
Also, I think we should know more about that one
Fairview.
person. No, the guy, what he was carrying and what was it for. I think that'd be important information.
Yes.
And I look over towards our what's her name? I'm sorry.
Laz.
The Tiefling Laz.
Yeah, I look over Laz. I look over towards Laz and I'm like, do you think you get any information from him?
I don't think that's appropriate at this particular time.
It may be possible.
Hold on a minute. Here's my thinking. I don't think we should go to Bray. I think we should try to make our way to Fairview and maybe get some reconnaissance. If Fairview is where they came out of, I want to scout Fairview. Look, every step of the way, they've been 2 steps ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
They know the Thane. They know the Thane. They know his mind. They know he's going to want revenge, and he's going to Bray. Maybe exactly what they want.
Well, that would be the natural order of events with the raising of Kork. Bray is people are going to consolidate at Bray.
Exactly.
People from Denegal will be seeing a lot of a big moot of power there. So we go to Fairview, we'll be out of the big confrontation, but we can use that and an enemy and being a small group to do reconnaissance. I think you have the right idea. Otherwise, we'll be engulfed in a big battle where we'll be as useful as any other soldier.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
While the Thane and everyone else is going to Bray with nothing but blood and revenge in their minds, understandable though it is, they're going to be planning and just like before, they're going to be 2 steps ahead.
Gentlemen.
I think we need to find out more about our enemy.
Gentlemen, there are strange things afoot in this isle. We have an army, I've seen it, of lycanthropes. We have them kidnapping all of our women. What is the purpose of this?
Breeding
We need
stock.
to answer these questions. And the last, we have Leviathan walking upon the isle.
That's 2 gods. 2 gods that have been seen walking with.
There is something afoot on this isle currently. We must ascertain what it is, or we will be at a loss when it comes upon us.
We need to know what that orb is before we leave. We need to know what it is. We need to get the Thane to confide in us in that. And I look at Boran.
I wonder if that
Tell
orb is
the-
a way to communicate.
It's possible. Or it may be the reason why Kork was chosen to be raised in the first place. So
Then why did they not take it from the Citadel?
maybe
Was it hidden?
I don't know. We don't know any. That's the problem. We are completely we're completely blind in this, and we need to impress upon the Thane that if we can't help if we don't know, and it might help.
Or I could have a chat with our messenger.
I think you should do.
See what he knows.
With the messenger, sure.
Now, as you guys are having your conversation and making decisions, you do see what's must be some small detachment from Fair Cove. It's only about 15 men, but with them, upon the only horse, is Lady Lacey.
There is also the question of why she was spared.
Yes. I look at Baran. Baran, you know the
Not
thing
paying
better than
attention.
anyone.
Lacey. I'm waving at
Sure.
Lacey, not paying attention.
Okay,
Okay, she's gone. Okay, now I'm paying attention.
Okay, yeah, I'll kind of like Bran.
Yes.
Yeah. Get your head out of your pants, boy. Listen, you have a better relationship with the Thane than anyone. Perhaps when he goes to obviously Lacey's going to be talking to her father very soon. Perhaps you should be there to help comfort her and perhaps to impress upon him that we need to know what that orb is if we are to help him in anything. Maybe tell him that what our plan is, that we are going to try to scout our enemy and see what we can learn.
I don't know if it'd be wise to confide in our individual plans.
Well, don't just outright and tell him. Just say, what do you think we should do to get ahead of our enemy? Because, like I said, the enemy has been 2 steps ahead. Be subtle.
All right, I will.
As you guys were having that conversation, the Thane sees she's arrived, and it looks like the captain of the guard of Fair Cove basically brought her, and he's kind of bellowing at her. Why are you here, girl? I told you to. You were told to stay in Fair Cove. She says, "But father, I can fight. I can help you." He said, "You witless girl." And he comes over to the captain of the guard, and he bows to him. The captain of the guard bows down. It's of course Fair Cove's captain, and he says, I do apologize, sir, but the lady insisted."
Chester?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
see here? Can I do sense motive on Lacey?
Sure.
That's a thing?
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to burn a spell, though, for sure.
Chester, where they are engaged, I am going to go seek out the lieutenant who went off with the talisman.
Yes. I get you. All right, you guys think about what you're doing with the sense motive stuff, and Laz, you head over toward the camp is starting to be broke, and people are getting organized, and of course the captain of the guard himself, Geoff, he's a good commander, and he's getting everyone kind of motivated and ready to move. And this lieutenant is actually just putting a saddle upon his horse. He's resaddling his horse.
I slip up behind him and breathe in his ear. some sweet nothings.
I cannot
I'm
tell you
very
how
good at
creepy that is, Slick.
I'm very good at this. It will have a reaction.
It will almost certainly has a reaction.
What is his reaction? Dear
Well,
Chester said.
this is a folk male. He's not a Nord, but he's probably around near 30, and he kind of looks at you in a smile, and then he catches himself and he says, "We are busy, ma'am."
Not too busy for a little chat, shall we say?
Yeah, okay, sure. What can I help you with? As he pulls the strap on his saddle.
I just need to know a little something.
What?
The Thane, he gave you an object. We would like to know what that is.
Oh well, that is Thane business. I do apologize, ma'am. As he
You know,
starts throwing bags on his saddle.
you might need something to defend yourself with. I have several silver spikes. Would you like one, or two, or three,
He
or something a little bit more?
he partially pulls his long sword, and you see it's silvered. I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm going to use roll on this to see if I can
I know. I've been
persuade
waiting.
Okay. By the way, Chester, that was a 22 on the insight to sense motive on Lacey.
She's a silly little girl who wants to help her father and her people.
Okay.
Aw.
Okay,
I was expecting something nefarious.
Go ahead and give me a roll, Slick.
6.
Ooh, yeah. Remember, you do have a bunch of fate points.
I'll use one
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, you got 3
Oh.
of you had 3 of them, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll use one more.
So just reduce that by 1 and roll again.
8.
Wow. Now you got some bonuses though. This is your thing. So go ahead and give me a total. I know that's at least an 11, if not more. It's probably more like a 13, I think.
What am I pulling it off of?
Well, it's going to be your charisma. It's going to be added to that, and any skills you might have, and any kind of traits you might have as well.
4 and
So it would be I would say that
intimidation.
would be deception or
I have intimidation too. So that one's like 6. What the heck?
All right, so 14. Yeah, this guy's just a young soldier. Or young guardsman, actually. All right. He says, "Well, I don't know much about it. He calls it the charm of telling. It's some kind of Harper artifact. I don't really know much about it."
Thank you. I appreciate your candor. And we
There
shall see
is
each
there
other
is
again.
another question you should be asking. You know.
Oh. What is?
I'm not supposed to tell you that. I'm the DM.
Say what he said again.
No, he just said that it's called the charm of telling. It's some kind
What
of
did he
Harper
tell?
artifact.
Harper
What did he
artifact?
tell?
What?
What did he tell? The Harpers are basically like underground vigilantes that are
Okay.
for forces of good.
I have no idea what to ask him.
If it's a charm of telling, what did he tell?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What is a charm of telling?
No, that's not the question. What did the charm tell him?
What did the charm tell him?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
what did
Thane
the
just
charm
had a
tell him?
huge reaction, right?
yeah.
Oh, okay. What passed between the charm and the thing?
Give me another roll.
One more time.
Nothing's free, man.
Oh, I know. Damn it. I've been getting shit rolls since that first time.
That's the wrong button, by the way.
Oh, shoot. Damn it. 11.
Okay, that's fine. He says, well, phrase your question, please.
What passed between the Thane and the Orb? Did so moved him to to protect the charm. Whatever.
Well, I don't know much about that, but he told me to take it to the North Haven, a small hamlet to the north, and give it to the mage, which I did. But the mage gave me a message to return to the Thane.
And what was that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I should say that.
Oh,
Another roll. Another roll.
all right.
Just take off your robe.
Yeah.
Show me your bikini.
Well,
Well, that's already part of it.
there we go.
All right,
14.
no problem. He says,
Yeah.
well, the mage used it, and he said that his cousin, the Thane of Bray, is the one who betrayed them.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh boy.
And how is this ascertained? From the charm or
Yes,
from
the,
the
the
man?
the wizard is the only one who can use it.
Where was the wizard at again, Chester?
In the hamlet of North Haven, it's it's several hours ride to the north. It's just to the south of that little forest you see on the map.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to add, young lad, before I take my leave?
The Thane
Or
is
would you like to
angry.
do something more pleasurable for the time being?
No, thank you, ma'am. As he quickly throws more bags on the saddle.
Then it shall be another time.
You've
I'll go
terrified
back to
him.
my.
You've terrified me. Just understand that, Slick. That
She's very
voice
forward.
does not go with it. It's wrong. Something wrong
Doesn't
with
like
the
that
world.
voice.
Chester, that's the only reason why I can think that you're getting scared
Chester,
here. Is you're hearing it,
you know
you're
you
making you
like
feel
it.
something.
Yeah,
I
right,
know
right.
you do.
It's horrible, Slick. All right, so Laz, you've got information. You want to share that with your crew or no?
I indeed I do.
All right. So you guys
So
know that. Go ahead. You do it. Yeah.
I take my leave. I go back and find the gentleman and whatever they're embroiled in, and I relay that to the calmest of the bunch, because
Adderall.
Okay.
The monk is murderous, so
So it's some kind of scrying stone.
Yes.
Apparently. What say you about
I
going to the village where the wizard is, or shall we go to Bray?
Well, I mean, you guys do have decisions to make here. So far on the table, we have the New Haven, which is a small hamlet to the north, and there's a wizard there. If that's interesting, you could follow the army and go to Bray, which sounds like he's just looking for raring for a fight, because the information isn't that there's any kind of attack or anything happening at Bray, just that his cousin, the Thane of Bray, somehow betrayed him. Or you guys also have your conversation on the table about scouting out what's it called, Fairview.
Fairview. Perhaps we should talk. Perhaps we should make a detour to North Haven and have a talk with this mage. Find out his motivations. See that if this isn't yet another someone else playing 4D chess.
4D test. Right on.
We must put this before the group.
That's
I'm
why
just-
I'm.
So
That's
Bray,
what I'm
Bray is
saying.
the largest.
Okay.
Is the
Go ahead.
largest. Bray is the largest, like established city on this island, correct?
No, it's not. No, Bray is about the same size
No.
as Kork. Denegal is the major city here. It's,
Dinale,
of course,
that's right.
not much of a city, but it's the big. Denegal is the biggest one. Bray is about the same as Kork. The only difference between Bray and Kork is Kork was more agriculturally focused, whereas Bray is much more a fishery town, and they deal with lots of wood products and stuff with the forest nearby and such. But it's really just the economics of the town are different, but they're very similar size.
So these forces have set these two towns against each other.
It's
Is
possible.
one theory, right? We're going to Bray. Are we going to get the answers of what, or be able to stop what's going on? I think we need to find out more information. If we can go, like you were saying, visit this wizard, see what we can see. Fairview, we don't know if that's really their camp or is that another city that they've raised, or have they invaded Horst? I mean, we should see what what their strategy is. We need a bigger picture of what's going on, so that we're not caught running into another town, saving everybody from a burn or burying bodies again.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem.
Just as a side note, also, just not to interrupt, but as a side note, you guys need to make a decision about Lacey as well.
No.
Do keep in mind that, of course, I'm not really interested in that, but do keep in mind that technically she is a first level knight.
Oh.
Party on.
Well, hello.
Well, her father definitely doesn't want her around. So.
Well, I don't think. I think I agree with the Thane. I don't feel like there's any. This is no place for her.
But it's Lacey. But it's.
Don't you want to protect her?
Don't you want her to be safe?
Don't you want to protect her yourself, or do you want to leave her to the vagaries of maybe being killed in Bray?
Well, Braun does know that she's a better swordsman than he is. Of course, that's not his focus anyway. It's not his main thing. He's more of a, but he does know that. But you guys have to make decisions. Is all I'm trying to say.
Wait. Let me screen share my screen real quick, and then let's make a decision. Okay, hold on. Let me put this right here, like that.
Oh my!
And now make a decision.
Oh my! Oh my! Goodness gracious!
That was
quick, dude.
Oh. She's a knight. That's not much plant now.
This was a captured scene. It was captured.
And of course, I have my own picture I chose for her as well.
I want more Lacey in the story.
Well, I mean, you have to make a decision. Either she goes back.
I'm against it.
Okay.
But I will abide. I mean, I am one vote in this group, and mine is nay. I do not want to take the Thane's daughter into dangerous territory and potential death.
Any other opinions?
I have no. I don't care either way.
Fighter, she has every right for vengeance as we do.
But
this isn't about vengeance. Do we want more bodies to burn?
I don't care either way. But another sword is always, is always welcomed.
And that's true. We are
that. So it's 3 against 1. All right.
Team Lacey.
Team Lacey. Do keep in mind, Zach, you're going to have to run her.
Oh boy!
I will invest in a set of earplugs and yes, try to keep her under control.
Yes. All right. So it sounds like you guys made a decision of that, and therefore, what is your move?
Let's go to let's see this wizard and go on from there.
Yes, I agree.
Right. Okay. Now, Team Lacey, Zach says. So, Zach, you need to go talk to Lacey. She's kind of gone off in a huff away from her father, and you notice that she's actually, even though she came in kind of a dress, she seems to have collected some pieces of armor. Just not normally royal type of stuff that she would have, or noble type of stuff she'd have, but she's collected some, and she's pulling it off the horse and starting to armor herself.
She's gearing up. She's getting her Rambo on.
real quick, I'm gonna lean over to Phelan and say, "You do realize if she dies, he'll kill us."
I think I'm going to see Corlin very soon, to be honest with you.
I would rather not. I would rather. I don't mind the idea of meeting our god, but I would rather make the average life expectancy for one of our kind.
You saw the Leviathan, right?
Yes, I did.
Thousands of werewolves.
Yes.
They're hitting us like hit and run
The god?
tactics, guerrilla warfare all over the place. I think a small
Yes.
group with a few good swords, with people with strong hearts and a desire to win, will give us the best advantage.
And Lacey fits that bill.
I believe so.
She's a child. She's been coddled her whole life.
I'm a child.
I wonder about that. So let's talk with her and give her an interview.
Fairville,
I'm just saying.
there's never better a time to learn than now.
Very
The
well.
cleric has lost the argument. Okay. So Baran, you need to go talk to Lacey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start thinking about what color I want my burial robes to be.
All right. Well, they're usually black with touches of purple, just so you know.
I timidly, kind of very awkwardly, start walking and trying to act more masculine and bigger than I am, being small. And I go and I tap her on the shoulder while she is aggressively getting ready to do something rash.
Well, she sees you. She jumps and hugs you mid-grieved. And hope you guys caught that joke. And she says, "Can you bleed my father? I have a right to fight just like anyone else. You know I'm good with a sword."
This is going to be fun.
And I look at her and I say, "Yes, I know. We discussed. I was talking to my compatriots, and we thought that maybe if you were so inclined that would you
Spit it
like
out.
to join us? Would you like to join us?
Join you? Where are you going?
We are actually going to scout out to try and figure out what's going on. Why your father sent out a knight with an orb, and there's a bigger picture going on, and we want to know what's going on."
The Orb of Telling? What did he do with that?
He sent it to a wizard, and we're gonna go see.
You mean my uncle in Fairhaven, or excuse me, New Haven?
Your uncle's a wizard?
Oh yeah, he's really old.
Yeah, we're gonna go visit him because he told your father that it was. Is it Bray?
Bray.
It was the cause of all this. So your father is preparing for war against Bray. We want to, and we want to know if that's true or not.
You mean Uncle Elric?
If
5,
he's the wizard.
4, 3, 2, 1. Here it comes.
Well, my uncle is the Thane of Bray. I don't know why he would betray father.
Oh. Well, that's what the Orb of Telling told your uncle.
Well, let's go talk to Uncle then.
All right. May I introduce you to the company? This is Aldurin. Adoril.
Adoril.
Kind of
Adoril.
smile weakly and nod.
Adderall?
Adoril.
Adderall.
I guess he's up all night.
Yeah.
This is and this is
For the hurt talking, I'm definitely gonna be.
This is Zalia.
Liza? Shalasia Mestofahan. So glad to meet you.
She bows to you.
I bow in return.
And I don't know what Bill's character is.
And Lazy, I am Phelan, a monk of Corlin, and we go to seek the end of this atrocity, can you fight?
She said she smiles sheepishly as you speak, actually, and she says, "I most certainly can."
Well,
Sorry, Zach.
Oh,
He's more
good.
handsome than you are. Sorry. Uh
I look at Bill and I give him a real hard stare.
oh. I'm just playing around. She says, "Yes, I am very capable. I've been trained. I've been trained by Geoff since I was a child."
it would be very nice to have another feminine Miles with us.
She
Mm.
smiles and she nods her head. Now, you guys have all been introduced, and are you going to wait, or are you guys? Because this militia is starting to move. Is anyone going to talk to the Thane, or just kind of do what you're doing?
I'll leave that to the rest of the boys.
Is there anything the thing that needs to know that he doesn't already know?
Well, I don't know. Right now,
Uh,
he's obviously perturbed. He's much more animated than he was the day before through the evening. He's barking orders. As a matter of fact, Geoff, the captain of the guard, he's not saying much at all. He's letting the Thanes on his haunches, And people are, of course, they move when the captain of the guard speaks, but when the Thane speaks, oh my goodness. So you're actually seeing a lot of that dourness has gone away. People have tightened up. This camp is going to be moving within the 30 minutes, probably.
Do we even
Um,
have to tell the Thane that we are taking his daughter along on this adventure?
I'll take care of it.
He
With
tried
the-
to stop that.
I'll take care of it.
But I'm going to take the young lass, and we will get together off. No,
I'll be right back.
things. So
All right.
we're going to do that together.
Okay. I'm going to approach the Thane.
All right.
Excuse me, sir.
He turns
About your daughter.
almost as if ready to snap, and then he calms his visage, and he says, "Cleric, how may I help you?"
It concerns your daughter. I don't think this is the place for her. And being that Boran is that they are sweet on each other.
Yes, well, I know that he will be my future son-in-law, I am sure.
Well, I've convinced him to convince her to allow us to take her to, what is it called, Norfolk?
New Haven.
Northridge. New Haven. To convince her to take her to New Haven. She says she has family there.
Yes, my brother is there.
Yes. With your permission, we will escort her there, and then we will make our way to Bray.
Very well. That sounds wise. Thank you, Cleric.
Excellent. Is there anything we need to present to indicate that we are fulfilling your will? Perhaps a seal of some sort, or a letter?
He thinks for a moment. He says, once again, wise Cleric. He says, Geoff! Geoff, of course, quickly comes over. Geoff's on a horseback and just organizing people. He comes over toward the Thane, jumps off his horse. He says, hand me a crest. Very well, sir. He goes in, he digs out a bag, and he pulls out this looks like a very large coin, actually. It seems to be made of a mix of electrum and silver, and it has the crest of Kork, which, of course, is the crest of the Thane himself. And he takes that and he hands it to you. He says, this will gain you any passage, at least under what value my name possibly has now that my entire town is gone. A moment of sadness crosses his face. He says, this should do.
Kork will be revenged, and it will be rebuilt, sir. And we will take your daughter to safety to, what is it, West Haven?
New Haven.
New Haven. I do not know why I cannot remember that. We will escort her to New Haven. She will get there safely. You have my word.
Well, lucky for you, I have to remember everything.
New Haven and West Haven, those are both towns in Connecticut. What's the deal?
Well, haven't you noticed all the names of these places are very New England or English or Britannish?
Yeah. Right. But then I'll take your leave, sir. We will see you in Bray. Hopefully all things will be well.
He bows to you.
And I immediately turn around and I am scooting back.
All right.
And I'm flipping this coin as I'm walking up to everybody.
Now, Baran,
Okay,
you recognize that as a crest of the Thane himself, and you know that only a couple people have that thing.
How did you get that?
What do you like to know?
What a bright trinket you have gotten yourself.
Oh, yes. See, that's what happens when you keep your head about you. Shall we go?
Oh, no, you.
All right. Now,
Team Lacey, indeed.
Team Lacey, go. Here we go. So you guys mount up. Everyone's got all the gear that you had on you. There's nothing really left to gather. The army itself, for what it is, begins to move out. You guys are, of course, on horseback, and you head out toward New Haven. Now, as you guys are traveling, it takes you I don't know, 4 hours probably. By the time you get here, it's probably around lunchtime or a little after. You come into this tiny little hamlet. Well, excuse me, you're approaching this tiny little hamlet. You can see off in the distance some chimney smokes and stuff like that. You're probably about 30 minutes out or so. And let me see who I got here. Well, I guess everyone. Give me a perception roll, please. A static perception roll.
Cool.
Which means only your wisdom, please.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't know if that's going to do it.
Just call
13.
13.
20.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, is that a natural 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even plus the wisdom.
Anybody else?
21 for wisdom.
7.
9.
9. Okay, the monk and it has no clue. He's thinking about murdering things, and the tiefling is kind of confused because for some reason today you feel like the left breast is a little larger than the right. You're not sure why.
What?
But let's see. What did you get again, Bob?
13.
Okay. You're aware, but you don't catch this. So the only person who gets to act is Baran. Now, Baran, first thing you need to do is write down a fate point, and remember that you get 50 experience points per level, so that's going to be 100 XP at the end of the day. But you look off to the side. It's middle of the day, right? This is high noon, right? And you guys are approaching the town. You actually see a couple little farmhouses on the side of the road just in front of you. So you're in the middle of civilization, right? This isn't deep in the wild. But as you look off to your right, bounding out of the forest, you see, you don't know, you don't recognize what the individual itself. But let me come over here and bring this up. Ooh, Lacey. But you see bounding out of the forest this. Full form werewolf coming at you. No weapons, no nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Counter.
Now, Baran, you can do something. The other guys can do nothing this round. So this is a surprise round. What would you like to do, Baran?
Is there any way for me to do I literally yell werewolf,
Of
and
course, that's a free
let
action.
I jump off my horse, but kind of maneuver my horse so it's running right at the werewolf to possibly kind of be like a meat shield just for a second.
Yeah, sure. I get you. All right. So, there's one other thing you've forgotten to do already. We have no clue who she is because we're going to have to create her character. I'll make her up. I'll make her a proper knight. But give me a D20 roll for her perception as well, please.
She is 17.
Okay. So she's in this surprise action with you. Oh, goodness. I guess I'm going to have to run her. You bastards. All right, fine.
Is she a warrior or?
She's a fighter with the background noble.
Okay.
Yeah. An aspiring knight, right? Probably would go with the champion roll up, right up, I guess.
Woohoo! We have a meat shield that's a woman.
Well, they can be,
That's
you
se-
know, you sexist.
That's sexist, man.
Sexist. All right, here we go.
Sure, have
All
as
right,
many hit
so
points as us.
now you scream out werewolf. You take your move action to put yourself between the werewolf and your team. Lacey screams it out as well, and she is charging toward the thing with sword drawn, by the way. And of course, she has a silvered weapon. Her father made sure of that. What is your attack action this round? Now, maybe I should do mine first. He doesn't pay attention to her. Let me just do her attack real quick. Okay, she rides up, yelling bravely, charging. Rah! She swings her sword and completely misses. He ignores her completely, and he's coming right for you, Baron.
Oh, great.
Well, actually, it seems like he's looking through you, but you're in the way. So I'm going to be making an attack on you. So I'm assuming you're just going to attack the werewolf.
Yeah, I'll just attack
All right.
with my here.
So he's doing a move action. Okay, so let me do this here. What is your armor class, please?
It's 13.
Okay. So that hit. Uh-oh, this isn't going to be good. Okay. He comes up and well, you do what you're going to do first. What kind of weapon you going to use on this thing?
I've got a silvered rapier that
Okay.
given to me by the guy, so I'm gonna use that.
Okay, are you going to stay on horseback or are you going to dismount?
I am going to dismount.
All right. So you dismount and the charge of this werewolf's coming right at you, and you try to strike him with your rapier. So make your roll.
Are you kidding me? Let's see, it's an 8.
Yeah. Okay. That's your total roll for attack is an 8.
Yeah, with my dexterity is an 8.
Okay.
Damn!
You miss. Actually, you don't miss, but the rapier bends on his shoulder and does no damage. And he comes in and he just buries his claws into the left side of your chest and then takes a bite of your right shoulder. And he's just completely enveloped you, this giant thing. And he hit you twice. So
Are
let
you
me
trying
see.
to kill me so I'd have to play her? I don't.
Well, you do notice he's using claw and bite. He's not using sword, which you've seen them do up to this point. So let me see here. Damage. So, all right. All right. And so that's... okay, 6. And, you take 13 points of damage.
Oh man.
And he's just
I'm at
literally
3
on
HP.
top of you, almost straddling. I mean, just embraced upon you. His claws are in your left side, and his bite is deep in your shoulder. Okay, it's a full round. Initiatives, please.
Is he grappled?
No, I didn't do an actual grapple check. I'm just kind of describing what it looks like. But actually, he was charging. I do apologize. Give me a Constitution roll, please, Baron.
Oh man. 10.
All right. You are on the ground. You are on your back, and he's on top of you, just mauling you, is what's happening. So give me initiatives, guys. D10.
22.
No,
Natural
D10.
20.
D10.
Oh, D10. Oh, D10. That's right. Never mind. Crap.
Initiative.
There goes
Yeah.
my 20.
There goes your
Damn
point. That sucks. Yeah.
You're all excited.
10.
And
Nice.
7.
what's the modifier, or is it just straight?
If it's your dexterity is added to it, unless you have there are special skills, but I don't think you guys have anything like that right
Yeah.
now. So yeah, just add your dex.
Okay, 9.
I have 2.
Okay. And Zach, you need to give me an initiative,
10.
dude.
Yeah, no, 10.
Oh, a 10. Okay. So everybody goes, then I go, and then Laz goes. So go ahead and
Okay.
start, Zach. You're the one that's on the has this damn thing on top of you. Its breath smells horrible, by the way.
All right, I'm gonna roll to hit.
All right. Now,
Oh, Lord.
as you're doing that roll, all of you do notice that this thing is focused on Laz of all of you, and it actually, as it takes its teeth out of Baran, it says, "Damn witch, I'll have your hide." It says in a growling wolf voice.
Oh boy.
Friend of
so
yours.
19 to hit.
You hit.
Boom. All right. Here. Let's do a D8.
We need to get you a gun.
I know. 10 plus that. 13. 13 damage.
Wow. Okay, not bad. So
Wow.
it howls in pain as it looks down at you, and
Oh,
and
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, it is. No, yeah, 13. Fine,
okay.
I'm good. We're
It
good.
howls in pain as it looks down and he says, "Damn boy."
Hell yeah. You
Who's
just bit me,
next?
bitch.
I had 10, so I think I'm next.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I am casting Guiding Bolt. Let's see here. Ranged spell attack. All right. Don't fail me. Don't fail me. Don't fail me. Woohoo! 19.
All right. That's a hit for sure. Do your damage.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, pull it up here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm. 17.
And as your guiding bolt blasts him in his face, he screams out. And let me see here. So it's 28. Okay. He's like, ah! He's very, very angry, and but he's still focused on the damn witch. Bill.
Okay, Bill. Any attack that you make on him, you do so with advantage.
Okay, what's that?
Means you roll 2 dice, 2 20-siders.
You roll 2 d20s instead.
Yeah.
Now
Take
I'm
the
going to do
highest.
I'm going to do my second attack.
Your
Do I
second
roll
attack.
3d20?
What do you mean? You haven't done a
Yeah.
first attack.
Well, the monk has a special ability to do a 2 attacks. Like I'll do my first attack and then hit again.
Yeah, no, that's right. So start with the first attack and then the second attack.
Okay, well, let me do 2. Ah, there it is. Come on.
Now make sure you roll 2 of them.
Take the highest.
Okay, so the highest one is a 19 with +4 to hit.
All right, no, that's plenty. You only need 11 to hit him. All right, and your second attack?
Senec was another 19 with +4 to hit.
Nice. Now,
And
your second attack, though, is probably with your feet or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah, see, that's not going to do anything to him. The first attack is the only thing that's really going to damage him because you have a silvered staff. So go ahead and do the damage for the staff, please.
It is, I think that's 7.
Right? Plus your strength, I think.
Oh, with dexterity, sorry. So 9, 10.
10 points of damage. All right, very good. And you hear bone crack as you slam him because he's still kind of hunched over Baran, right? And you hear bone crack as you smash him in his side with your staff, and he growls out. And then it's his action. Now he's got 3 of you right there who have. Caused him damage, but he lunges right for the tiefling. He's focused madly and intently upon her. All right. What's the AC there, Slick? Slick?
1 sec. AC? 11.
Wow. I didn't think I was going to be able to hit you, but I do hit you with one. He comes up, he swings his claw at you, he misses, but his bite comes in and catches you on your left arm, and he bears down his teeth upon you, and you take 6 points of damage.
Okay. So here's my roll, I guess.
Oh yes, it's your attack. Now do keep in mind you have a werewolf whose teeth are about your arm. This could affect your spell casting.
Okay. Well, I have a silver dagger, and I have him on my arm, so I'm going to try to plunk that dagger right down in his forehead.
Oh, okay, never mind. He is clad upon the horse as he's biting you. He's actually, and the horse doesn't like having a werewolf on its back, by the way. I'm sorry. Say what you're doing again.
Well, and since I'm having a hard time casting a spell, let's see if I can stab him with the silver dagger.
All right, go ahead.
There we go. Here's nothing. 8.
No. You miss, but the horse is bucking around wildly. There's a werewolf on top of it, and he's got his jaw around your arm. Makes sense that you miss. Now, new round, Zach. Your round is getting up off your butt and standing up and moving toward the combat. So let's go with the cleric again.
How bad does Jimmy look?
Baran? Oh, you talk about Laz.
uh,
Not so bad. There's blood coming out of
Okay.
the arm, and the main problem is probably the horse is just bucking wildly. So
Okay. What about Baran?
Baran looks beat up, but probably about half health, I'd say.
No, I'm
Okay.
at 3 health.
Okay.
Yeah, really bad.
Then
Much
I'm gonna
worse
go
than I
ahead and.
thought.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and use Cure Wounds on him.
All right. So you go
All
ahead and take
right.
care of that. Bill. Damn it, I can't remember your character's name. Was it Fionn?
Let's call him Jerry.
No,
Say.
no,
It's
Fionn.
Phelan.
Phelan. Okay. What is Phelan doing?
Oh, well, one I think would be either get him to dismount, so I'm just gonna swing my bow staff down and knock him off the horse.
All right, so you're just striking him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So 17, 21 to 22
No problem.
to hit.
You need an 11 to hit the guy. Yeah.
Actually, Jimmy. I mean, Baran's gonna take. He's gonna get 11 hit points back. I'm gonna use Channel Divinity instead.
Okay, 11.
Okay.
So you get 11 hit points, Baran. Returned.
Yeah.
All right, you hit. So give me your damage, please, Bill.
Damage is bam. I got maxed, so 13.
13. The thing lets out a howl as you. Not only do you hear ribs crack, you think you might have broke a piece of spine there, but there was. But it's so maddeningly focused that it does not care what any of you are doing. It wants the tiefling. And it continues its focus. It misses, but it hits with a bite again. 6 more damage, Laz.
Oof.
And this time it's bit right into your throat. By the way,
I'm
that
down
was a
to 2.
high roll.
I'm down to 2.
Yeah, I know. It's your action.
All right, well,
What do you want to do? And give me a dexterity roll, please.
I'm going to do a cantrip fireball.
Hold on a second. Give me a dexterity roll, please.
Dexterity. Which one do I use for that?
The D20. Yeah.
Okay.
Add your dex.
1. What the?
Okay.
You got if you got any points left, I would re-roll it, dude.
Yeah, I would, because that would put you out right there, dude.
I'll take another fate point. So 20.
Nice.
Well, you get a point back. You do write that down. Remember, you get experience at the end as well. The horse is bucked out, but the weight of the werewolf has kept you in his orbit, as it were. So the horse is kind of taken off, but instead of falling on your ass with a werewolf on top of you, you're actually able to put your hand on his shoulder and kick off with your feet and land gracefully like a cat right next to him. And now it's your attack.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go with the fireball cantrip. So,
All right, go ahead.
here we go.
At the same time you're doing that,
What
by the way, Lacey rides by on a horse and is swinging the sword.
I got another one. Wonderful.
All right.
Use your last luck point, man.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you, but that definitely misses, and it's a critical failure.
I got that. I'll take the last one. I'm just gonna do it because I don't want to die.
Because I would have made it blow up and cause damage to you. I
All
don't
right,
like
I'm
that.
gonna do another fireball. Here we go. 18.
Okay, that hit. Go ahead.
So what do I do now?
1d10.
Ruin 1d10. Yes.
Okay, one. Okay, here we go. 3.
Okay. You scorch his chest as you land on your feet and get a good position. This thing is haggard hard, but it's still standing up and it's just focused and growling at you. And as you do that, Lacey comes riding by. And she just swings down with her sword and making her turn she had to do on the horse, of course. She comes through and she literally, with a downward thrust, splits the werewolf's skull vertically,
Woo, Lacey.
and it drops.
We softened it up for you.
You guys did. All right, so
We did.
the werewolf is on the ground, and it falls and writhes and ends up on its back as it dies, and also transforms into its human form. And as it does this, you guys recognize exactly who this is. It is the one you interrogated a few nights before.
Oh, no.
Suck it.
All right. Suck it. So, now it's interesting because what you had right there was a full-on, no holds barred fight with one werewolf versus 5 adventurers,
Yep.
right? And Lacey only lost 1 round because she had to turn the horse around, right? So that was full-on 5 adventurers on him, and we almost lost 2 party members. That's how serious a werewolf is. I just want, and this is just a
Give me those
normal one.
experience points, baby.
Oh yeah, no, you guys will get those.
Okay. How injured is Laz?
I'm pretty
almost
fucked
out.
up. Yeah.
Okay, I will use my last cure wounds on her.
All right.
Oh, thank you. What a nice person.
And let me roll that. Well, don't
Would you
say
like
that
to-
yet.
would you-
I might roll a 1.
Would
Sure.
you like? Okay.
Could go really bad.
You get back 7.
Oh, that's nice. I'm back to 9. Would you like me to thank you in Laz's voice?
Reach around. No.
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 Do it.
I
Do
say
it.
no.
Braun.
All right, okay. So there is one follow-up I have to do before we get out of here for today. So what I need here is now you notice that the cleric heals your wounds, Laz, and that's all well and good. You still have some damage, and it'll heal as normal, or by healing you guys do later. But Baran, even though you have been healed by his divinity, natural ability, you're noticing the wounds are already starting to fester very quickly.
Oh, crap.
So what I need you to do is give me a Constitution roll.
How dare you? How dare you do this to me?
Okay, real quick before he does that. Where's it at?
I don't want to be a werewolf.
This is an ability check, right?
Yes, it's a Constitution check versus DC 12.
Okay, I'm going to cast the cantrip guidance on him.
Mhm.
and he gets an extra D4 on your roll.
Ooh,
So roll a
thank you.
d20 plus d4 and add your wisdom,
Mhm.
please.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, I
in
really
this,
hope we
sorry,
don't
in
have
this case,
to.
add your constitution. I do apologize.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, it still is a 14.
All right, very good. So the festering stops as the divinity starts to work, and you have not contracted lycanthropy. Now, Laz, you have learned something very interesting here. You are immune to lycanthropy.
Hmm. Well, that's
Mhm.
handy.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
handy.
it's because you're demon tainted.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know.
So, all right. Well, there we are. We're going to leave it right here, guys. Went a little longer than I wanted to, but I still have 5 minutes, or 10 minutes actually, before I need to walk out my front door. So perfect. Now, pretty interesting adventure. We've certainly moved the story forward. These guys have made some interesting decisions. We are heading in a direction I didn't expect them to heading in, which would be cool. We have a new party member because of teenage hormones. And hey, but she rolled an 18. She is a knight, so it is what it is. But
Bam.
bam, exactly. But interesting night. We did have a little bit of combat action, and our story has certainly deepened. You guys got any questions or comments for me or the chat?
What's my point? What are our points?
Oh, I'll give you that offline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
How many hit points does Lacey have?
Lacey, I'll write her up. I'll create her. I'll take care
And
of it. But she's a first level. Well, she's probably a second level warrior now.
Is she immune to silver?
Is she immune to silver? Why? What do you mean?
Well, my mace has got silver on it, so
I don't understand your question.
I'm talking about killing her.
Oh.
Killing Lacey? Why?
You jerk. Why would you want to kill Lacey?
I think we should go this way. No, listen to me. I'm the Thane's daughter, and I think that.
Oh, dude.
Die!
Dude, you know what Zach just gave me. You know exactly what I'm going to do with her.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna
what
be
I'm. That's why I was like,
wonderful.
oh.
You saw
It's
that
like,
little bit of.
can I blo-
See, it's funny because Bob, you're the only one who saw the psychological bullshit I was doing there.
I'm just like about two or three sessions in. I'm just like, hey, anybody got any poison I could drink?
Yeah, right. No, it'll be fun. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I don't believe you.
Oh, there's no reason why she can't stay with her uncle.
That's
So,
true.
you
That
know.
is true. But no, I'm just going to write her up normal. She'll be a straight up, probably a second level knight, so or fighter. So she'll be capable actually. But anyway, guys, which is cool because I haven't created a character of my own in a while. It's not my own, but you know what I mean. I haven't done a write up in a while. But all right. Any other questions or comments before we get out of here, guys?
nope.
No,
I-
not
you-
at all.
You said you were going to come after me, and you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Give me my experience points.
Yeah. Well, all right. Did you guys enjoy the story so far?
I did.
You messed up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Awesome.
how dire the situation is just got really ramped up. So
Mhm.
Well, yeah, we're trying to have an adventure. But all right, guys, thank you all for sticking around and being part of this. It does amaze me how many people will sit and watch a role playing game. I hope you're having fun with the story, and I think it's working out really well. Talking to the guys here in the chat, do keep in mind that with this game, they are running the story. What's happening, where it's going, is all their choices. So it's working out well. And thank you for being part of that. Do keep in mind tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Comics News Today as usual. And then, of course, we have the fan edition of Drawn and Quartered on the Thursday. And that's going to be a lot of fun as always. So thank you guys very much. Team Lacey indeed. I'm going to enjoy writing up a character here later this evening. But otherwise, later, guys.
bye.
Boy.
Adios, y'all.
I hate
All right.
you all.
I hate you.